We are reminded that, in the fleeting time we have on this earth, what matters is not wealth, or status, or power, or fame, but rather how well we have loved and what small part we have played in making the lives of other people better. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Evil does exist in the world. A non-violent movement could not have halted Hitler's armies. Negotiations cannot convince Al-Qaeda's leaders to lay down their arms. To say that force may sometimes be necessary is not a call to cynicism, it is a recognition of history, the imperfections of man and the limits of reason. Keep exploring. Keep dreaming. Keep asking why. Don't settle for what you already know. Never stop believing in the power of your ideas, your imagination, your hard work to change the world. You can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. When times get tough, we don't give up. We get up. Change is never easy, but always possible. When ignorant folks want to advertise their ignorance, you don't really have to do anything, you just let them talk. You can't always come up with the optimal solution, but you can usually come up with a better solution. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. I do that every day. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It shows you have the courage to admit when you don't know something, and to learn something new. I believe in evolution, scientific inquiry, and global warming. I believe in free speech, whether politically correct or politically incorrect, and I am suspicious of using government to impose anybody's religious beliefs, including my own, on non-believers. If somebody is different from you, that's not something you criticize, that's something that you appreciate. Greatness is never free, it must be earned. Fear, uncertainty and discomfort are your compasses toward growth. If you run, you stand a chance of losing, but if you don't run, you've already lost. Our nation owes a debt to its fallen heroes that we can never fully repay, but we can honor their sacrifice. Democracy cannot be imposed on any nation from the outside. Each society must search for its own path, and no path is perfect. We reward people a lot for being rich, for being famous, for being cute, for being thin. One of the values I think we need to instill in our country, in our children, is a sense of usefulness. In other words, are we useful? Are we making other people's lives a little bit better? Just because we have the best hammer does not mean that every problem is a nail. Every country has violent, hateful, or mentally unstable people. What's different is not every country is awash with easily accessible guns. It ought to concern every person, because it is a debasement of our common humanity. It ought to concern every community, because it tears at our social fabric. It ought to concern every business, because it distorts markets. It ought to concern every nation, because it endangers public health and fuels violence and organized crime. I'm talking about the injustice, the outrage, of human trafficking, which must be called by its true name, modern slavery. Throughout history, Islam has demonstrated through words and deeds the possibilities of religious tolerance and racial equality. The study of geography is about more than just memorizing places on a map. It's about understanding the complexity of our world, appreciating the diversity of cultures that exists across continents. And in the end, it's about using all that knowledge to help bridge divides and bring people together. Fighting for what you think is right is always worth it. Peace is not merely the absence of visible conflict. Only a just peace based on the inherent rights and dignity of every individual can truly be lasting. Generally, the Constitution is a charter of negative liberties, says what the states can't do to you, says what the federal government can't do to you. But it doesn't say what the state or federal government must do on your behalf. Which quote did you like the most? Share your opinion in the comments. Don't miss out a chance to see next video. Subscribe.